Hi, and welcome to this episode of Tasty Tuesday. Today we're going to be working with blueberries. In North Carolina, blueberry season runs from June to August. But here in Cumberland County, normally July is that month where you can find a lot of blueberries. And I encourage you to go out and pick some fresh blueberries. We have some farmers, some local farmers here in Cumberland County that you can go pick some fresh blueberries. So just get online and search and see where you can find that farmer and go pick some blueberries with your family. But today what I thought we would cook is creamy blueberry pie. And this is one of my favorite pies. I love blueberry muffins, blueberry pancakes, but this pie is full of blueberries and I thought, I don't know if I'm going to like this pie, but it's really good and I encourage you to try it. Now when you go out picking your blueberries, there are certain berries you need to look for. Some blueberry farms will supply baskets for you to pick your blueberries in, and this little basket over here, you can see it has little holes in it. So when you go to pick blueberries, if you have a basket yourself, you can bring your own if you want to. They encourage that, or you can buy a basket from them. You want to get a basket that has holes in it. You don't want to use a plastic grocery bag when you go pick your berries because they need to breathe. When you go and pick your blueberries, you want to look for plump blue blueberries. And you can see on this berry, it kind of has like a grayish color on the skin. That's what you want to look for. You want to avoid blueberries that have this kind of a reddish color. You can kind of see them together, what to look for and what not to look for. So these blueberries are ready, they're sweet, they're ready to go, where these probably need to stay on the bush a little bit longer. So once you get home with your blueberries, you don't want to wash them until you get ready to use them. If you wash them beforehand, it's just going to make them soggy. So just put them in the little basket that you picked them in and just place them into the refrigerator until you get ready to use them. But today for our recipe, I've already washed my blueberries. So I just put them in a colander, and when you wash them, you want to pick out those red berries if you see any of those red berries that I showed you earlier. And then you also want to look for stems on your blueberries, and you just want to pull those stems off because you don't want to eat the stem. So I have washed these and I just kind of let them sit here for a little bit. But for this recipe, we're just going to dump these blueberries. This is 3 cups of blueberries, and this is a 9-inch deep pie shell. And I have let this sit out a little bit to get soft. So it's ready for my blueberries to go in it. So I'm just going to dump these blueberries right into my pie shell. We'll just spread those out. And then we're going to make our custard. All right, so for our custard, we're going to mix our dry ingredients first. And this calls for a cup of sugar. So we're going to add our cup of sugar. And then we have a 1/3 cup of flour, all-purpose flour. And it didn't say sift, but I sifted it anyway. Just makes it a little lighter. And remember, when you measure your flour, you want to lightly put it in your measuring cup and level it off. You do not want to pack it in there. And then we have 1/8 teaspoon of salt. So we're just going to mix these together. Okay, and now we're going to mix our wet ingredients, and this calls for 2 beaten eggs. So I have 2 eggs in here. I'm just going to use a fork and beat them together. And then I'm going to add 1/2 cup of sour cream. I make this recipe a lot with a lot of my cooking classes. I used to do a farm to kitchen with kids, and we would go visit some local farmers, and they would let us come and pick, and we would come back and cook things that we've made or we've picked items with, we would cook. And this is 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So this is a recipe I have made many times, but it's so good. So I'm going to mix these together. So this was 2 eggs, a half a cup of sour cream, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Okay. And then I'm going to add this to my dry ingredients. And we're just going to mix this together. This is a real simple recipe. Now, blueberries are very nutritious. They have lots of antioxidants in them, lots of vitamins and minerals, and they're high in dietary fiber. So they're a good little snack to nibble on. Okay, so I've got that mixed together. Now I'm just going to pour this. Now I've got my pie on a pan, a jelly roll pan. That's just in case it decides it bubbles over in the stove. So I'm just going to pour my custard mixture over my blueberries. Get all that goodie in there. Just want to make sure every little berry gets covered in our custard. Okay. Now what we're going to work on, it has a crumble on the top. And this makes it extra yummy. So for the crumble, we have a half a cup of light brown sugar. It's packed, and then we have another half a cup of all-purpose flour that I sifted, and then we have 1/4 of a cup of butter. So I'm just going to add all that together, and then we're going to blend these. And if you have a pastry cutter, it's a lot easier if you have a pastry cutter, but if you don't, you can use a fork, you can use 2 knives. But we're just going to blend these together until it looks kind of like coarse cornmeal. And then we'll crumble that on the top. I actually will make this same crumble and put on my sweet potatoes. Thanksgiving. As my daughter says, it tastes like candy. So we're just going to keep working with it until we get it to look like cornmeal. Now, if you do go blueberry picking, you're probably going to pick a lot of blueberries, and you won't be able to use them all at one time. So you can freeze your blueberries. Again, you don't want to wash them before you freeze them. You just want to pack them in a container and leave a little head space. You're going to dry pack them. There'll be no liquid in them. You're just going to dry pack them into their container. And then some folks will actually put them on a pan like this, spread them out, and I'll freeze them individually and then pop them into a freezer bag. And then you can just take them out and use them this winter and have some of those fresh blueberries. You want to make you a cobbler this winter? Or you can make jam or jelly with them. So I'm still blending this butter in. You can kind of see, let me put it over here. I'm getting that coarse cornmeal look. I'm just going to keep working at it. Now I have my oven already preheated and it's on 350 degrees. So I think our crumble's ready. So all we're going to do is just crumble this right over the top. Just sprinkle it right over the top. This makes it so good, this topping. Now this is a custard pie, so that means you cannot leave it out on the counter. You do want to let it cool, completely cool, but afterwards you need to store it in the refrigerator. This is going to be yummy, you guys. I have staff waiting to eat pie today. All right. Now we're going to pop this in the oven anywhere from 50 to 55 minutes. You want it to get golden brown, and I will normally kind of shake it toward the end, and if it still has a little shake in the center, I would leave it in there a little bit longer. So we're going to let that bake. We'll put it on a timer. I'm going to put it for 55 minutes. Now our blueberry custard pie is out of the oven and I've let it cool for a little bit. So I'm going to cut into it. Let you see all that goodness inside. See, you can tell it's just full of blueberries. Oh, this is so good. I do hope you will make this pie. I've made it lots of times. It's a delicious pie. Go out and pick you some fresh blueberries. Sit down with a cup of coffee or some fresh ice cream, homemade ice cream, and eat you a slice of pie. Hope to see you next time on Tasty Tuesday.